Art Appreciators.
To the ArtSpace podcast.
Brought to you by Lemon Street Gallery and ArtSpace.
Located at 4601 Sheridan Road.
Stop on by your favorite citrus-themed art gallery. I went for a real, dynamic one.
Woo, woo, woo.
Stop on by your favorite citrus-themed art gallery.
It's a wacky day. It's
Yeah,
okay.
if you couldn't tell, that was your clue right there.
Yes, it's going to be a zany episode, and we can't wait. So, but I am your host, Shelby Nesmith.
And I'm Jake Hoy.
And today we are going to be talking with my best friend, the literary genius, the poet. She's just like giving me the eye roll. She's like, she's
So much eye.
I love you and your work. We're interviewing Sydney Schoone. Hi.
Hey guys.
Hi, Sydney.
Hi, it's so good to be on the pod.
Ooh.
Hey.
Just
Hi.
again.
This is a character.
No, hi.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Sydney, and I am, the rumors are true, I am Shelby's bestie.
First and foremost.
My
First
ride or die.
and foremost, that's on my resume, man.
Yeah, it's not even just like your most frequent job. It's just Shelby. Call her. Yeah.
Just
That's all you need.
it's the only reference I need. And as far as me being a poet, ish, sort of, from time to time when I'm feeling it.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm artist adjacent is
Yeah.
what I would call myself, and definitely on the art appreciator side.
Okay.
Uh
But you dabble. You dabble.
I dabble the creator side. Once it hits me, I can create something that I'm really proud of and then coast for the next 2 to 3 years.
Well, that raises an interesting concept about what is an artist. You have
Yeah.
to constantly be creating to be an artist, and most
It's
people
like,
would say
no.
no. So
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, hot dog. I
Yeah.
feel pretty good about that. I guess I'm an artist, kind of.
You are.
Yay.
that's why everybody that we have on tells me that I kind of am an artist too, but I say, no, I don't think I am.
But you are.
Do I have to be?
No.
Ooh.
You don't, because
There it
we do
is.
call the marvelous makers, so you can
Yeah.
be just a maker. You don't have to be
True.
an artist.
True. I'm not
So
sure
then-
where I lie. Maybe that's the long arc of this podcast, is figuring that out. Season 7, we're going to crack that
Yes.
nut.
Self-discovery.
Series finale.
Yeah, series finale.
Jake has a mental breakdown. Yeah.
Bruh.
What am I?
Yeah.
What does
is my
it mean?
What is my purpose? To pass the butter.
Yes.
Oh my god.
But yeah, you've done some drawings. I love your you did a drawing of me that I love so much. And you do little cartoon drawings, and they're cute.
Yeah.
They're fun.
2021 was a year of exploring with digital drawing. Literally I got a tablet for my birthday. Thank you, Kurt. Hi. He's my boyfriend. Bought me a tablet, and I just downloaded a couple drawing apps and just tried my hand at it because I'd never done any sort of digital drawing, and I was just making little doodles for people. Some people were like, "Oh, I like what you're making. Can you make me one?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" Just nothing incredibly professional by any means, just little cartoony things, just little guys, a lot of heads. That's kind of been
Disembodied heads.
disembodied
I love 'em.
heads has been my not in a gross way, but just a little cartoony cute head.
Mhm.
That's kind of been my 2D drawing forte since I was a kid.
Yeah.
One thing me and AI have in common is that we both can't do hands. I can't do a hand to save my life, but drawing faces, both more cartoon-like and trying to get it up to be a bit more lifelike, realistic, quote unquote looking. That's usually my bag. But anything under the neck, forget about it. It's game over.
It's very stylized, and I like it, and that's why it's so special.
Oh,
So
thank
that's why I like
you.
it. And you just sent one over to me one day. You're like, "Hey, I drew you," and I'm just like, "I'm gonna cry." Oh my god! I'm hunched over, just sobbing because
Screaming, crying, throwing up.
yeah, because I'm just like, she drew me, and it's beautiful.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you like it.
That's a
And-
big thing, is being drawn by an artist friend. I had artist friends for years, and I would never have had the guts to ask them to draw
Hey,
me.
could you draw me?
But I mean,
No.
and probably you shouldn't. Maybe that's a good rule of thumb. Don't ask people to draw you.
Mhm.
But yeah, I remember the first time I want to say the first person to draw me was Donovan.
Really?
Yeah, because he did me for
The-
the
Zombie?
well, which came first, either that or when he
Well,
did
is
me
that
for
technically you?
yeah, true.
I think the you would be more
From the
pop-
weather page, he did my weather page
That's right.
has a page in his first coloring book,
Yeah,
The Color of
I
Kenosha.
remember that now.
And that might be the first time
Because I
somebody
couldn't
drew me.
remember if it was a
Wow.
bean or if it was...
I am also a bean.
Yes, you are a zombie.
Yes.
And then we have our fabulous...
And then also he drew me
ArtSpace.
for that.
Yes. Which I love that one. With
And
the
that
little...
one I have a beard.
Yeah, and you have a weather-themed button-up that
I had
love.
that in the first one too.
It really you
It's a
did?
carryover.
Oh my gosh.
The continuum. Donovan's an expert.
Wow.
Shout out Donovan.
Shout out.
Like
Studio
he-
Moonfall.
Yeah, it's like he knows what he's doing.
But yeah, the idea of like
Yeah.
having someone draw you is very cool.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Become a life model. You get drawn all the time.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
We don't need to, yeah.
Been there. No, we can
Yeah,
talk about
okay.
things. Yeah, been there, done that.
Yeah. Then he's done some life modeling.
I surely have. It's
Draw Joseph.
2019, especially into parts of 2020 and parts of 2021. You know, pandemic kind of slowed a lot of that down. But 2019, I really gained a lot of confidence. Became a little bit of a baddie by Shelby and Alex introducing me to Joseph of Draw Joseph Studio.
Past guest. Shout out Joseph.
Shout out Joseph. Hi, Joseph.
Mhm.
Hi. Introduced me to him one night at the boathouse, and they were like, "Hey, we want you to meet this nice gentleman. You know, been working with him, and he's a life model, and we really think that you'd be into it." And I was like,
Just like, I don't know. I'll
"Sure,
try anything.
I don't know. At this point, I don't have anything much to lose. I mean, I had
Go for it.
I had recently gotten out of a really bad relationship, and I'm just like, my confidence is at an all-time low. So I'm like, might as well. I'm free to dress and do whatever I want now. I'm not under the oppressive thumb of somebody telling me what to do. So yay, like awesome.
Mhm.
So met with him, had dinner. I think it was like a couple nights later, had my very first posing session
Yeah, he
here at
does-
Lemon Street.
Oh yeah, they were doing it here.
Yeah, the dais was right behind where Jake is at. There's a mural of a face on the wall for
Mhm.
this isn't a video podcast, so just describing the layout here. Small little back room at Lemon Street, and there was a dais, and I think like 12 artists came the
Yeah.
first time, something like that. And
We
I
had
was
a
like,
good,
I was like shitting
regular
myself. Oops,
crowd,
sorry.
but well, no, it's fine.
I was a little
You were
nervous.
quacking yourself.
I was,
Yeah,
I was
okay.
whacking myself. I was a little nervous, you know, changed in the bathroom, and, you know, Joseph ran me through all the steps and stuff. You know, we kind of took turns. Like, I did a pose, he did a pose, I did a pose, he did a pose. And I think we did like one or two like together poses
Duo.
at the end. Duo poses. Yes. Thank you.
Mhm.
And I was really nervous, but it was really empowering. At the same time, like I felt really good about myself in those moments, and like seeing, because when you're standing up on the dais, you can see what people are working on in front of you because they're sitting right there, and like seeing everybody's different art styles and like, you know, pencils, charcoals, paints, like whatever they're using, their mediums. It was just really interesting to see like how everybody in the room saw me differently, and it was really cool. And I have every drawing that I've ever received
Mhm.
from an artist who is, you know, nice enough to give one away. You know, I still have them,
Mhm.
and I look at them from time to time. I'm like, ooh, that was cute. I'm like, that's what I look like drawn in markers. That's what I look
Yes.
like drawn with colored pencils. It was a really good first time, and then
Mhm.
you know, just did it for a little while longer, and I haven't done it since 2021, I believe.
Yes, I think.
Back when in Joseph's old
Mhm.
studio upstairs. Now he's got his new one downstairs on the first floor. It's beautiful,
Mhm.
fabulous. But yeah, I think the last time I did it was in 2021, and I've just kind of been on a hiatus, you know.
Pack it up for now,
Yeah.
but it's not.
Book's
Not
not
fun.
totally
Yeah.
closed. I just got to get myself together.
It's
And then
okay.
maybe I'll come on back.
And it's a big thing a lot of people don't mention with figure modeling is they always kind of try and highlight the positive, but there's a lot of like mental battle when you're doing that. So like, and we
Mhm.
obviously don't need to get into that, but that's just something people aren't always aware of.
Definitely.
Been doing it, and your body does change, and things
Yeah.
happen, and so
That's a big
it's a big unpacking of all of the feelings attached to that. So
that's a big
I
reason why
understand.
I stopped, you know, like just pandemic took a big toll on everybody
Oh, yeah.
and just like, you know, moving apartments and me not feeling as confident as I did back in like 2019. Like,
well, because you're in a relationship and you're happy, and
Nah.
things, yeah,
I am in a relationship and happy. Like,
so
that doesn't dig at my confidence at
Oh,
all. It's
no.
just like, I don't know. It's a little bit of a pride thing with me of like, oh gosh, like I don't know if I want people to see me like that anymore.
Oh,
But you know, it is what it is.
and it could just be your baddie era, like
yeah, that was
could be
my
that.
my little baddie era, and now I'm in like sweet old lady era. and I just
want to be with my cat and drink
wanna be with-
tea.
yeah, I
I've
wanna
been in that era my whole life.
Yeah, Jake
Yeah.
and I talking about tea for like
Oh, listen to the last episode, probably the last episode, to hear
For
a
like
long discussion about
30
tea.
minutes. So either way.
Way too detailed.
tea is
Yes,
good. So,
yes.
no one else is good. Hot chocolate.
Oh.
Now, my favorite hot chocolate is Swiss Miss salted caramel, and
Yes.
I just bought a little 4-pack of hot cocoa tins from Costco,
Mhm.
and each of them has a little winter themed hedgehog on it with like a little Santa hat or skiing or something. And there's milk chocolate with marshmallows, peppermint, and then salted caramel.
Ooh.
It's just so good. I could
And
drink it
they're
all
so
day. And the
cute.
little hedgehogs are just so cute. And I'm gonna reuse the tins for, I don't know,
Some.
put Christmas decorations in them or something. But yeah, I just want to give a shout out to
Yeah.
Swiss Miss salted caramel
Shout
hot
out to them.
chocolate.
Yeah, shout
so
out.
good. Shout out to them.
Um,
Sponsored by. No, I'm kidding.
my hot take, I don't think I like hot chocolate. I don't hate it. It's not like a never ever, but it's like nothing. So I never want it. Like,
Yeah, I don't crave it. I'm not really a hot drink person. Other
oh,
than,
true.
like
Ooh,
coffee.
even hotter take. Cold
Oh.
take.
I mean, I'll drink hot coffee. Like you're at a diner or whatever, and you're just like, yeah, just give me a cup of coffee. But like, no, I don't prefer hot beverages. So.
Fair enough.
To each their own.
Yes. Either way,
We can get into our questions.
we totally have a piece of paper in front of us that has the questions on them.
We
right?
do, we this is our test.
Right?
This is Shelby and I's test episode
I'm
to
in
see if
the-
we can remember the questions
A
without
lot.
having them on a sheet.
I'm in the hot seat over here. Let's
I
go.
think I remember our first question. Sydney, how did you first get into art, and what are some of your earliest art memories?
He did it. He did
That's
it.
probably
Oh
it,
boy,
right?
he did it.
That's
Yes.
that's a really good question. How did I first get into art, and what are some of my first art memories? I suppose it would have to be my dad really getting me into art. He is a
Mhm.
graphic designer and
Mhm.
has been since I've been alive and before that. And he essentially kind of taught me how to draw. One of my earliest memories I have with him, art focused specifically, is we were at the Racine Public Library. Shout out. And we were sitting at a table, and they used to have like little scraps of paper and like tiny pencils and like colored pencils and markers and stuff for kids to sit and like color on. And I remember he drew a little like cartoon stegosaurus on a piece of paper. And he's like, okay, I'm going to teach you about shading today.
Ooh.
And so he had a bunch of different greens and a bunch of different browns and like the most basic shading that I still do today. 'Cause
Oh no.
I'm not that advanced in my art, okay? But like the most basic shading was, so he drew the little stegosaurus in pencil, and he outlined it with a dark green, and then he filled it in fully with the light green, and then in the underbelly he used brown, and like on the bottoms of the feet and the feet that were in the back he used brown. And that's essentially just like the foundation of all of my art today. Just like super basic. You got to outline it with the dark color first and then fill it in with the light color. And
Aw.
it sounds so silly, but I remember that so vividly. And he was like, you know, just keep practicing and you'll be a great artist someday. And I'm just like, thanks, Dad. Because at that time, like when I was a little kid, I wanted to grow up and be a studio artist. I wanted to mostly drawing with like pencils, a little bit of charcoal, some paint. I'm not particularly great at paint. Like acrylic is fine. Watercolors is just no man's land for me. They're so beautiful, but I can't.
That's the hard one.
So
That's,
bad.
Yeah, that's the
That's what I
hard
always
one.
say.
Yeah.
But then again, is anybody ever truly quote unquote bad at a certain art medium? I mean,
No.
it all depends on, you know, art is subjective. Yes.
We'll leave it at that. Art is subjective.
But yeah, dad would take us to the library a lot. And, you know, we would like draw, we would do coloring sheets. I went to, the grade school I went to, I'm not trying to dox myself on the pod though. The grade school I went to, there was this older woman who she drew her own coloring sheets. Like it was like little kitties and like bunnies and bears. And she would do like seasonal ones, like cute pumpkins for Halloween.
Kind of like Donovan. He just makes his own.
Yeah, exactly. And, we would go to after school daycare and she would be there like watching over us and she would have like coloring sheets. So I'd get to take a coloring sheet and like color it in, practice my shading, you know. And I remember always wanting to be within the lines because I don't know.
Ooh.
I think it's just something within me personally, like especially as a kid, I'm just like if I go outside the lines, the whole coloring sheet is ruined and I have to get a new one. That's probably maybe not healthy for a small child to be so worried about.
That was me too, though.
Well, I feel like this is like the first big rule of art that you get as a child is stay in the lines, right? That's like the basic, like, stay in the lines, you know.
Don't color outside the lines. It's like, why not? Like, it's a piece of paper.
Wasn't it Billy Madison where like he's in kindergarten and he's drawing and he draws a blue duck? He's like, I drew a blue duck because like I'd never seen one before and I'd like to see one or something.
Yeah.
That kind of reminds me of that. Like, go ahead, color outside the lines. Like, who cares?
But
make a blue duck.
But I was draw a blue duck. But I was so worried as a kid. I'm just like, I needed to be absolutely perfect. Otherwise, the whole coloring sheet is ruined.
No.
And another early art memory I have, and I should have brought the proof. And I'm about to talk about something a little controversial, but my sister doesn't listen, and I don't talk to her. Anyway, so at my school that I will not name, they would have drawing contests throughout the Catholic schools in Racine. Wisconsin, and it would be for Knights of Columbus.
Sure.
I still don't tell you, but I just know every year they would have like some sort of like drawing / coloring contest, and it was in 3rd grade, I believe, and they were having one for Christmas, and it was like design, you know, draw something that you think of Christmas that inspires you at Christmas, and you know.
Crimbus.
Okay, let's do it, Crimbus. And you know, my parents were like, "Oh, you should both enter." I think, gosh, I don't remember if there was a cash prize. My auntie saved the newspaper clipping for me and gave it to me last Thanksgiving, and I should have brought it with me so I could like read from the proof. But I can't remember what exactly the prizes were. But anyway, and each grade had like, you know, 1st, 2nd, 3rd place, right? So me and my sister, who I'm not going to name on the pod, not doxing myself on the pod.
Better safe than sorry.
Me and my sister, we, you know, both were drawing our things, and you know, we were at Catholic school, so we decided to draw the nativity scene, you know, with wee baby Jesus and Mary and Joseph, the wise men, the animals, the
whole shebang.
Yeah, the whole 9. And my sister likes to say that I blatantly copied her design. And I don't even really remember what hers looked like, but we both drew essentially the same thing. Like, respectfully, I'm in 3rd, she's in 4th. We know the whole manger story and scene as we know it, so it's like you can't really get too creative outside the box now, can ya? So, you know, she drew the manger scene and I drew the manger scene. But what set mine apart was I made a decorative little border around the outside that said, "I love you, Jesus. Happy birthday, Jesus." And I got 1st place for the 3rd grade, and she got nothing. And she's been mad about that ever since.
Oh my God. I can imagine.
And I'm like, sorry they liked mine more. I'm just the better
I love you, Jesus. Happy birthday,
I love you,
Jesus.
Jesus. Happy birthday, Jesus. I mean, it was cute, and they put my little photo in the paper, and I'm like, oh, look at that blonde bob. Nothing's changed. You're so cute.
Aw.
But yeah, I would say those are some early art memories I have. Sorry, that was like 20 minutes for
No,
the first
I love
question.
That's awesome. Awesome.
Tea.
Yes, tea. Yes, family drama.
Tea, Christmas tea. It's coming.
Happy birthday, Jesus.
I love you, Jesus. Shout out. No.
Yes. So, shoot. Now I gotta say the next
You
question.
gonna remember it, or do I have to jump in?
My brain is mush. Do you know it?
Who are some of the influences on your
Wow.
art? And not just art, but art appreciating and everything.
Like who are some of my favorite artists?
That's
Perhaps
another question.
Oh, is that a different question?
Let's roll it up. You know what?
So
there are no
okay,
rules.
so this
Yeah.
question is specifically like who influences
twofer.
me in my
Yeah.
art.
You can put them together. And some of your favorite artists.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Twofer.
They're related.
So
Just like you and your sister that you beat out because of color you got.
I don't know. The jury's out on whether or not we're related. Let's save that for another podcast. So, I'm a shit sometimes. No.
Okay.
Some of the influences on my art.
Mm-hmm.
So at present, I'm mostly, I
Well,
guess you could
yeah.
call me a poet. I don't write poetry as often as I quote unquote should. I don't know. Last time I actually wrote something like good and solid was probably 2 years ago. That's usually my method is get inspired, write something really, really good, submit it somewhere, potentially get it, published, and then just
Step
kind
away.
of disappear for another 2 years. But for poetry, some like a big influence on that. Mary Oliver, she is a poet, R.I.P. queer poet. She writes a lot about nature. She writes a lot about birds.
Ooh, this
Which
girl loves.
yeah, I
Oh.
do.
Yeah.
I do. I've got a weird bird thing.
It's not weird.
Well, here's the thing.
You
They
like birds.
they scare me though. Like big ones are terrifying. Let's get real.
Oh, yeah. Ostrich could beat you up.
Oh, they definitely could. They could gore you for
Oh,
sure.
God.
Watch out for emus.
Them probably too. But
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
The
But
rest
here's-
of the birds are gonna be okay. Penguins are pretty big, but
I don't think I'm gonna ever
Turkey.
encounter a penguin, so I think I'm pretty safe.
But they have a penguin encounter at the Milwaukee County Zoo. Shout out.
I fear.
But those are
no.
Are you scared?
No.
Oh, I was gonna say those penguins are like I think
Those are the
God.
tiny ones.
Yeah,
He's
they're-
talking
they're-
like
they're like a
emperor.
foot. Oh yeah,
What?
emperor penguins are like 4 feet tall. Get real. Apparently,
they're like the linebackers of the bird world.
dude. Apparently, a few years ago, they found like a prehistoric skeleton of like a prehistoric penguin that was 9 feet tall.
Holy moly.
Get the fuck, get out of here!
Yeah.
Absolutely not. I mean, if that's how I go, that's how I go. But
How was
like,
that not a horror movie?
Yeah.
Attack of the 9-foot penguin? Like,
We saw
Billy
oh,
Madison?
oh.
No,
It
Oh,
all
yeah.
comes back
it's
around.
too damn hot for a penguin to be walking around out here.
It all comes back around.
What do
But
we see?
that killer sloth movie?
Oh my
Oh.
god, Slaughterhouse?
Yes.
Is that what it was?
oh, great name. Somebody thought that one through.
Oh my gosh, it sounds horrific.
Sounds terrifying. Prehistoric sloths, though, those are
Those are
also pretty scary. But anyways, yeah, birds are pretty cool. My senior year of college.
We'll get back to birds. I know we will.
We just did.
I'm getting into it.
Yeah.
You try to make it about sloths, but it's birds.
Nah,
now.
psych. Psych, it's birds. Senior year of college, I have an English degree. I am an English major. I also have a
Yes, yes,
creative writing certificate. Shout out University of Wisconsin Parkside. Shout out Dr. Dana Oswald, especially. Love you.
Go Rangers.
That too. I guess.
Mhm,
Funding goes to sports.
Yes.
But what happens to the arts? Now,
yeah.
RIP. Not really, but also. But senior year of college, English major, got a bunch of classes, lots of reading, lots of writing. My wonderful professor, Dr. Dana Oswald, gave me the idea for one of my final projects to look at each reference of birds in all of the books that I read between the 2 classes that I had with her and see like how they relate to the human condition. I'm like, that is a fantastic idea. Because I was like, there's so many bird references and I want to do something with this, but I don't know what to do. She's just like, why not go through and just see, you know, if there's any sort of like allegories or like how you can relate how the birds act in these books to humanity. I'm just like, you're smart. Can I combine the 2 classes that I have and just do like, can I get double credit? And she's like, yeah, sure, whatever. So it was like 2 classes, big compendium of all bird references in so many different books that we read. And cripes, I don't know, it was like 50 pages long. I think I just called it like, I called it the bird comprehensive. And that was a whole lot of fun to relate, you know, like actually like doing like solid research on like the actual birds themselves and then the birds within the text and then however the birds are acting within the text and in real life relates to the human condition. It was pretty fabulous. Ooh. And then from that, Dr. Oswald was just like, hey, would you be interested in presenting your research at Research in the Rotunda, which is an annual event they have up at the state capitol in Madison for UW students. They choose like, I'm not sure, maybe 5 or 6 students per university, you know, whoever signs up and gets approved to display like their research projects that they've been working on. It's just like, I think this would be fabulous. I'm like, you think people want to hear about birds? Are you are you sure? She's just like, yeah, you've worked so hard. Like, it's so interesting. Like, and I think you would be the only English major in the entire presentation because everybody does math and science. I'm like, okay, sure. So I went up with like 4 dudes from who also went to Parkside and they were all doing math and science presentations. And I do believe I was the only English major presenting there. So it was a little nerve wracking because like, you know, there's like all these like important people like
I'm over here solving world hunger and like like I'm water purification.
I was gonna say I'm testing like pH levels in water and I'm seeing if like, you know, our school's water fountains are poisoned and I'm just like, bird.
I'm here with bird.
Doink.
Those people in the audience probably loved you though, because they didn't have to hear about math for a little bit.
Yeah, the people who came by did actually seem relatively interested, which whether it was genuine or not was very flattering at the very least, because I'm just like, okay, like they're like, what's this about birds? And I'm just like, oh, like it's, you know, English literature relating, you know, birds to the human condition. They're just like, oh, tell me more. I'm like, all right, sure,
I'll talk bird.
Yeah, I'll talk bird. So I talked bird all day long and it was really cool. And yeah, it was a fabulous time. So birds,
yes.
Mary Oliver and birds really influenced my poetry. In addition, a lot of the things that I write about poetry and like short story wise just come from my own lived experience. Had a tough life, won't get into it, but I feel like some of the best writing period can really come from one's own lived experience, and oftentimes trying to write an experience that isn't your own can sometimes fall a little bit flat. Like in college we had some poetry classes and there were a couple of students, like one student wrote this poem that very very clearly was not her own experience, but like an assumed of like what it would be like to be said person, and it kind of came off a little disingenuous and a bit offensive. So like luckily she took the creative feedback and she's just like, okay, I won't be doing that again.
That guy that copied
bro
Red Hot Chili Pepper lyrics or something.
Shout out. So I think that was the first poetry class that I took at Parkside, and it was like my first like big foray into like actually writing my own poetry. And like that class, I think that was the advanced class, and then I took the beginner class after. Don't know how that order of operations worked, but okay. So I was in it, and that's how I met Autumn. Shout out Autumn. Hi Autumn. I was in that class, and like looking back, like the poems that I wrote for that class were like pretty shit and pretty cringy. So like R.I.P. But I've gotten better, so yay. But there's this one guy who will remain nameless.
Yeah.
And you know, writing is not everyone's strength.
Yeah.
Yes.
It just is what it is, and like,
But it should
God
be
bless
your
them.
degree then.
Bless
too.
them for trying. I don't even know if. I mean, it was the advanced class, so like you would think that only English majors are taking it. He wouldn't just take it for like an extra.
An easy A.
Yeah, certainly isn't an easy A. Poetry is not everybody's thing, you know what I mean? But bless him, he comes in.
Was it Red Hot though?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
He comes in and he stands up to read his poem, and like I'm kind of like looking at a few of my classmates like with like a knowing look, like not to judge, but like
looking around like you're hearing this too, right?
Like some of the poems this particular student like had brought in were like not the best, but we were rooting for him. And then dude just starts reading his poem, and it is the lyrics to Under the Bridge by Red Hot Chili Peppers.
That's a famous song too.
Yeah. Like, oh my God. And I'm like, nah, y'all. Is anybody else hearing this? Like looking around like, am I no, okay, good. Like we're all on the same page. Luckily our professor called him out, and he's just like, yeah, no, that sounds like it's a song that we all know. He's just like, oh no, well, I mean, like I was listening to the music and it inspired me to write this poem. Okay, but there's a difference between inspiration and straight up just copying the lyrics and throwing them in there. It's just like, I guess I see what you mean, but like, I was inspired. It's just like, just the secondhand embarrassment. I'm like, strike me down, like somebody, higher power, like lightning bolt right now. Just top 10 college moments. I'm telling you, and I'm like, is this guy for? No, he was definitely for real. It wasn't a gag. He wasn't like, just kidding. Here's my real point. No, he tried it. I'm like, you couldn't even pick like a really obscure indie song or something.
Yeah.
Like if you really want to get,
you could probably get away with it.
Yeah, I'm like, you ain't getting away with. We know who the Chili Peppers are, dude. Like, come on. And then I don't know if it was related or not, but he didn't show up to class anymore after that. I don't know where he is. So I hope you're doing well. Shout out. He won't be listening. I don't know.
Shout out.
Shout out
and the Peppers.
Shout out to all the pears. Shout out to all the peppers. Crazy. Second part of your question was, who are some of my favorite artists?
Yes.
I gotta say my favorite artist. Well, I mean, like Van Gogh is pretty great for like quote unquote classic artists. But I think my favorite artist ever has got to be Gary Baseman. Either of you familiar with the children's cartoon show Teacher's Pet?
Oh yeah.
No, but it sounds familiar.
It was on like ABC, like Saturday morning cartoons. It's on Disney Plus. There's 2 seasons.
Okay.
Rewatch it.
Oh, absolutely. I already have. It's been so nice to revisit it. But
the inner child.
Absolutely.
Yes.
The gist of the show is there's a boy named Leonard, and he has a dog named Spot. And Spot, voiced by Nathan Lane. Shout out to Nathan Lane.
I love Nathan Lane.
Spot really wants to start going to school, and he wants to be a boy, like a little boy, not just like a puppy dog. So he dresses up in like human clothes, and he goes to school. And Leonard's mom is their teacher, and like she doesn't even know. Like nobody knows that it's Spot except for Leonard. And he's just like, "You're gonna get caught." He's like, "I want to be a boy." It's just like, okay, and that's the premise of the entire show, and it's very funny. I remember watching it on TV when I was a kid. I'm like, there is some adult humor in here I'm probably not supposed to know about, but it's funny. And just Baseman's art style is just, it's so different and unique. He had the show, and then the show also had a movie, which is hilarious, and how I learned how to say all the states' names in alphabetical order because they have a state song in there, and it's not the one that people apparently got taught in school. I never got taught it.
I never got that one either.
But I know that some teachers are like, yeah, there's like this song that you can know to learn the states, but like they have their own version of it in the movie, and I'm not getting sued by Disney, so I won't sing it. But that's how I learned how to do all the states in order, and just. I feel like I need to like do a little Google real quick if we have any service in here.
Oh, go for it.
I only know the states non-alphabetically because I'm a nerd and I just love geography.
And you've been to all of them.
I have been to all of the states too.
So like he's got some like core characters. Can't even slide. I just slid my phone over for those listening.
Okay.
Toby is the little guy with like the fez hat and the eyeball on his tummy, the little like cat looking guy, and he paints his cats. He had a cat named Blackie who passed away, and he's got a cat named Bosco. He works with paints and colored pencils.
That's really interesting.
And he's got kind of like a horror element to some of his art, and he's done some some art toys in the past.
That's where I've seen that certain
Oh,
things. Yes.
for sure. He's got art toys, and when I was younger, my favorite store in the world, actually RIP. I know I've said it several times, but like it no longer exists. It was called Hot Pop, and it was in Milwaukee, and they sold pop culture items. So like T-shirts, hats, lots of art toys. That was my first introduction to like art toys, because I'm like, oh, I know my toys, my Barbies, my Legos, like, and then it's just like, oh, and then there's art toys. You do not play with them. You display them and you look at them because they cost like $300. I'm like, oh, art toy, I want them. And I saw that there were some Tobies. There were some Arus, which is his like little werewolf character, which it's October 12th right now. Tomorrow's October 13th, Friday the 13th, and apparently there's some sort of new Aru. I don't know if it's gonna be a figure or a plush or something, but something new is coming tomorrow, and it's probably gonna be like $500. But like, if it's affordable, I might want to get it.
Oh yeah.
He's got Aru, and then there were some Creamies, which is his little ice cream cone character, like vinyl toys, and I'm just like, oh, that's the guy who does Teacher's Pet. That's got to be the same artist, right? And just, I wanted him so bad, but like, I didn't have $300 as a kid, but just his art has always just kind of been there in small ways. And I follow him on Instagram still, and just like, he actually like interacts with fans and stuff, and he's super nice. And his art was also on, do you guys remember the Cranium games?
Oh,
yeah.
Yep. He designed the art for those as well. And
it was itching my brain. I was just like, I know I've seen it somewhere else too.
The Cranium games.
Gotcha.
Yep. Oh man, those were so much fun to play. Cranium Conga was my favorite one.
I think I only played the regular one.
I think Cranium Conga, if I'm remembering correctly, actually like it had like this like little thing like you could press, and there was like music and stuff, and like it was a really creative game. But I love his art so much, and he's definitely an inspiration. Like seeing Toby, because he's got like the weird eyeball thing on his tummy. Like I went through this phase of drawing nothing but eyeballs when I was younger. I'm like, I want to be an eyeball artist. Who does?
Can't do the hands, but girl, I'm gonna get those eyes.
I can do an eyeball. I can't draw a hand. Hi. But yeah, he's my favorite artist for sure. And yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I think that's my answer to that question.
Oh, good. Awesome. Well, we're going to get back into the questions when we come back from this lovely break from our sponsor.
Hello, ArtSpace podcast fans. This is Joseph from Draw Joseph Studio. Most of you know who I am. I have this fabulous world-class draw studio up in Racine at the Racine Business Center, 1405 16th Street. My studio is real easy to find. It's on the first floor on the east side, right inside the tunnel. If you know the Racine Business Center, it's a big, tall brick building, and there's a big Von Schrader on the east side of the building, and the tunnel's right underneath the Von. So come in the tunnel, first studio to your right. And on every Tuesday afternoon at 5:30, the gates open up, and at 6 p.m., I have a model posing. You're invited. It's free. Tip the model. Hope to see you there.
And we are back from that break.
Yeah, we're back. We're back.
Thanks for sticking with us.
Yes, appreciate you. We're going off script. We're going crazy. We're loosey-goosey over here.
It's off the rails, baby.
Full disclosure, Sydney thought of a question. Or not a question, a story. Even
and we
better.
want her to tell said story.
To be fair, this story is related to
art.
It is related to art.
Okay.
It's related to your last question about finding inspiration. And I thought of this just now. When I was a little kid, did either one of you read like the Sunday Funnies, like comics and stuff?
I loved them when I was a kid.
Garfield.
True.
How do you think I got my love of Garfield?
That's very valid.
There was one episode we did not that long ago where I forget who we were talking to, but they said something like, "Oh, I love comics." And
Was it Joe?
Might have been Joe.
Yeah.
And the whole time he was like starting to like talk about it, I'm like, yeah, me too. Like Garfield and like all those comics and the comic pages.
It was either Josh or Joe.
Doesn't
Either
matter.
way. Yeah.
And then they were
Either
like
one of those
Spider-Man, and I'm like, oh no, I don't care about
like,
those.
never mind. I'm bowing out of
No
this
offense,
one. No,
but-
whenever I think of comics, I always think of like comic strips.
Me too.
Not necessarily comic books.
100%.
Like I love Peanuts. Calvin and Hobbes
Yes.
was a big part of my childhood. But do either one of you recall the comic strip Pearls Before Swine?
That's my favorite.
No.
That was I have books of Pearls Before Swine. I was hoping you'd say Pearls
this is
Before
so
Swine.
fucking topical then. Okay, so I don't really recall like too much of like the quote unquote plot of Pearls
There
Before
wasn't
Swine.
a plot. It was
Yeah, I
all
know.
just- yeah.
Like some
It
comic,
kinda
some
was.
comic strips have like continuity
Yeah,
and stuff.
they were
right?
like characters.
Yeah, so like the little gray mouse.
The mouse, yeah.
Oh,
Rat, I guess.
Is that his name? Rat?
I don't know, maybe.
Okay.
That's what I called him.
We'll call him Rat for the sake of the show.
Rodent. Call him.
But I really like comics were like the comic strips were a big influence on like my love of art too, because you know hand drawing all of those comic strips and like, you know, hand lettering all of the text and stuff, like that's a big thing.
Yeah.
And while I didn't really care too much for the content because I was like a kid, and Pearls Before Swine I feel like was a bit too adult
It was
versus
kind of
like
adult. That's why
Family
I liked it.
Circus or
Yeah.
something stupid, like a one panel like Mommy I baked cookies and it's like got rocks in it or something stupid. Like that's
Oh, how
generally what
cute.
Family Circus was. If that's a real plot line,
Oh,
wow, I don't
guaranteed.
think
They've been
It
around
might
40
be.
years. They've done everything.
Is it still in circulation? Anyways, so while I didn't necessarily care for the plot line or like content of Pearls Before Swine, I really liked the art. I thought the animals were really cute, and I really liked Rat. So what had happened was
I liked Rat.
I liked Rat. I liked Rat a lot. So I was like, I want to make my own comic strip. So I had a little pink journal, and it was supposed to be like a dream journal, but I turned it into my comic book journal. This is so
Screw my dreams. It's coming.
this is so fucking embarrassing. I've never told anybody about this before.
Not even me.
No, I don't think I've told you about this.
I was about to
So I
say.
really liked Rat, and like if you guys don't know the reference, he's just like a little cartoon mouse. He's got a rat. I don't know. He's got a little pointy
Yeah,
nose.
pointy, very simple.
He's got like half moon ears,
Yep.
like very, very basically little stick arms and stick legs.
Basic.
So I'm
Rat.
like, I'm gonna cop that for myself. So I
Uh-oh.
essentially ripped off.
You ripped off Stephen Pastis? I think that's his name. Something like that. Maybe Stefan. I don't know.
Yeah, I ripped off that guy, Pearls Before Swine's creator. I took Rat and I tweaked him a little bit. I made him my own. I could draw him right now if we have a pen and paper and put it on the socials. No, but essentially like almost the same character. I named him Ed.
Okay.
It's so stupid. I was 5. Tell me why this was in my head. And Ed was the ladies' man.
Oh my goodness.
So every comic strip was about him trying and failing to pick up a woman at a bar. I was 5. And my mom found my dream journal and found my and she thought they were silly. She's like, "Oh, this is so funny. This is so cute." And now looking back, I'm like, "Why was I drawing a comic strip? Hey, baby, like, can I buy you a
Fuckboy
drink?"
Rat.
A rat. Fuckboy Rat. Ripped off Rat from Pearls Before Swine, trying to pick up big booba cartoon ladies with like hair that was literally like 2 strands flipped out
Oh, yeah.
like this, and then like little circles for boobs and
I
a
feel
triangle
like
skirt.
that was from that strip, too. I think they would
Was
draw
it? God
ladies
damn
like
it.
that.
I think don't sue me. I was 5 and I threw the dream journal away maybe when I was 10 because I like hid it away and I'm like, oh, this shit's cringe. Garbage. So yeah, I guess one of my big influences for art when I was 5 was
Big booba rat.
the rat.
No, the
didn't
rat
have
didn't. He was
boobs.
trying to go
He was
for
trying to go for big booba ladies. I was 5. I think I need to go to therapy and unpack that because that's too adult. What was I watching?
I'm
America's
gonna-
Most Wanted, really.
boy.
It's true.
I'm going to have to figure out if we need to censor booba.
No.
No? Okay.
Input this large chested. Just superimpose that. Can we get a sound
We're
bite?
leaving it all in.
yeah.
so.
Shit. But
Except that was whack.
Or maybe not. Maybe it'll
That's-
go rogue. Who
That's
knows?
that's entirely embarrassing to admit. But I thought of that. I'm like, holy crap. I had that dream journal with the stupid pickup rat. And it was just Ed and just, hey baby, let me buy you a drink. And they'd be like, no, get out of here. And he would like cry in the last panel every time. He never Ed never got the nut.
the cheese.
The rat never got his cheese. I was 5.
You were just a few years away from winning the nativity contest.
That's true, man. Hey, man. I guess I'm just a fucking
put that in there.
plagiarist. Shit. Shoot. I guess all I do is plagiarize my own or other people.
no.
Shit. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I was inspired. I could draw Ed right now. He doesn't look entirely like Rat from Pros Before Swine, but so yeah, that's my story related to that question.
I'm gonna go home and read my Pearls Before Swine books. I had like 3 of them. I got them from Barnes and Noble, which I'm
Hey.
told is a great bath.
To use.
Absolutely, the Barnes.
Was that
and
on
Noble.
air?
No, that wasn't.
Never mind.
We could talk about
Non sequitur. We'll just leave it there. Moving on.
Shout out to the Barnes and Noble bathroom for being an absolute unit and legend for
Best place.
instant diarrhea as well while perusing Tom Clancy novels.
Just don't bring a book in with you.
Yeah, merchandise is not allowed. Do not
They will pat you down.
do not wipe your ass with the pages of a book. But solid place to
Do the number 2.
to deuce it out, I guess.
A chill jazz probably playing in the background, and
Yeah.
you get the smell of like the Starbucks that's nearby anyway. So
The smell of other people also blowing up the bathroom. Also, side tangent. How come, I don't know if this is a U.S. specific thing, but how come like public bathroom stalls have like a solid 2 inches so you can see them and they can see you sitting on the bowl? I don't need that.
This
I
is
don't
a
need that.
common U.S. criticism
I
from
don't
Europeans.
get
Like,
it.
what are you guys thinking over there?
It's
Like,
yeah,
I think it's a
embarrassing.
safety thing, ostensibly.
I suppose.
like I can
Like I get okay. I
I'm
get
not
having
defending it. I'm just
Yeah.
devil's
No,
advocate.
I understand. I get having like the shortened door on the bottom so you can see if someone's sitting in there, you can see their feet or something.
or if you
But
need
the-
to slide out
But
in
the
an emergency.
inches
Yeah.
with the door and the hinge and the lock, and I'm just, hi Shelby, hi. Like you watching me pee? I can see you washing your hand. No, that's dude, the place I work. I'm not doxing myself on the pod. The place I work. Thankfully, our bathrooms like are little closets, so full door,
That's good.
like
Ooh.
like almost soundproof. You can't hear nothing. It's
That's the dream.
bass boost.
bass boosted diarrhea noises. It's pretty great. So yeah, that's that on that, I suppose. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Oh, we probably should have put a disclaimer like for queasy listeners, please skip ahead.
No.
There might be one.
Well, they're gonna learn today. They're gonna learn about the disparity of the bathroom stall gap and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's a common problem.
Oh yeah, I don't understand.
Somebody has to talk about it.
I understand the bottom part, but 2 inches. You gonna shove your hand out there and be like,
I
"Hi"?
could shake your
Yeah.
hand from on the toilet. Hello.
Yeah, like, what are we accomplishing here?
Gross.
But either way. So other stories about life and me and you, I guess. I don't know. We could talk about how we became friends and
Where did you guys meet?
college. Yeah. Thank you for asking the question, Jake.
That's my job.
Yep.
University of Wisconsin Parkside. We
Next.
met.
Go
Yeah.
Rangers.
We met in early 2016.
Yeah, it was before Alex and I started dating, and it was a year before we started dating.
No, it was a few months.
Oh yeah,
Like
'cause it
6
was in
months. You
between,
started dating that same year. I've got a pretty good timeline on that.
Yeah. You're just like, oh, we don't need that one,
tee-hee.
yeah,
But no, we met at school. I was friends with a former friend
Mhm.
of Shelby's, and to an extent, I was friends with Alex. And side tangent,
it was like by proxy.
yeah, I became friends with Shelby by proxy. Side tangent on how when I first met Alex. I don't remember if I ever told you this,
No.
but I was in like Bio 101 or something. Like, and at Parkside, the biology class was in one of those Molinaro, where it's like the big stadium seating type of thing. So like long tables instead of like individual like small tables or desks or something.
Mhm.
And I'm sitting there and like class is about to start and I hear like the back door slam and I turn around and I'm like maybe like 2 rows away from the very top row because I needed quick access to get the fuck out of there. I'm like, I'm done with class. But
I gotta use the bathroom.
that part, absolutely. So this little guy comes in and he's got this massive backpack. Like his backpack is like about to bust at the seams.
Oh,
I'm
I
like,
could see him being a big backpack.
I was really, I said something mean to him once. I said, "Were you a rolly backpack kid?" Because I was like, "I'm sorry, you're giving off like rolly backpack kid."
That had a time where
Yeah.
that was
And he's just
very
like,
in
"No,
vogue.
I wasn't, and I'm offended." I was like, "I'm sorry. Like I thought you'd be rolly backpack kid." But
No, he had like I
Oh,
thought he
no.
was about to go camping backpack kid. I'm like, that shit is
like literally
bursting at the seams.
a Milwaukee like toolbox backpack is what he had.
Mhm.
Huge.
Huge.
Hard bottom on it so you could like drop it on the ground and it wouldn't like bust
Wow.
open on the bottom. Like crazy.
But he walks in and he's got this backpack on, and attached to his backpack and his clothes and possibly some of his body parts were a bunch of clamps, like
Mhm.
art clamps, like a wood clamp or something. Like you'd find them at Home Depot.
Yeah, like a-
Coincidentally, I
yeah.
found out later that he worked at Home Depot and that we worked there for a while together.
Yeah.
He comes in, he's just like covered in these clamps. They're like all over his backpack, all over his clothes,
Yeah, different sizes.
different size, just maybe like 20 of them. And I'm like looking at this little kid. He's older than me. Look at this little guy in this big ass backpack covered in clamps. I mean, like he's sitting. He decides he wants to sit like right at the top. I go, "Hey, clamps!" And he looks at me. What? What's with all the clamps? I'm an art major. Yeah, it makes sense. And then we just kind of became friends.
Yeah.
From there. So that's the first time I ever met Alex. But I was friends with Alex and a former friend of yours, and we would hang out in the art room a lot and vibe. And like at first, like I'm like so shy around new people. I'm just like, I don't know how to act. And I'm like, oh, like this girl, like she seems like really like kind of quiet and reserved. And I'm just like, I don't know. Sometimes it can come off like a little bit too much. I'm like, oh, I don't know. Like I want to be your friend. Like she seems nice, but I'm like, I'll probably just terrify her away. It's fine. It is what it is. Yeah,
Yes.
that's how we met at school. And
we're back to the story because we
And-
probably cut that out.
And we have been friends ever since. It's been what?
Oh yeah.
7 years, almost 8.
Yeah, Alex
Holy
and I've been
crap.
together for 7.
Holy crap-oli. It'll be
Yeah.
8 years come like February or something. That's
Yay.
insane. Wouldn't trade it for anything though.
Aw, love you.
Oh, I love you too.
But yeah, it was a wild ride, and ay.
Tough.
You my ride or die.
But
I took one class at Parkside. Does that make me an alumni of Parkside?
yeah, what class was it?
Calc 2?
I'm out.
One of the calculuses.
Wait,
One-
were you going to school somewhere else or?
One of the
Yeah,
calc guy.
Oklahoma.
Oh yeah.
And I had failed a class and I needed to catch back up over the summer. So I was back home for the
Oh.
summer here. And I thought, I'll
You
take a
said
class at Parkside.
summer school.
Summer school calc.
Summer school calc, yeah.
See
And it was the
ya.
only class I took the whole summer. So I would just have to
Oh.
go at like 8:30 in the morning.
Ew.
That
Yeah.
sounds not
it was
fun.
It was okay.
That was your only option.
It was easier than the calc I had failed. So because of like the school curriculums were
Standards,
slightly different, like
Wow.
the stuff we covered and all that.
Go Rachel.
Well, no, it wasn't like that. Like it was just like it started, or like the subject matter was more earlier.
Oh,
Like
okay.
they like I believe Parkside has 3 calculus classes,
Mhm.
1, 2, and 3, whereas my school OU had 4, 1, 2, 3, 4,
Oh.
and I had failed 2, but 1 counted as 2, so
Oh, gotcha.
it was kind of like easier by default. That
Ah.
should this get cut too?
No.
No,
It's pretty
keep
boring.
it, keep it in.
Hey guys, so we lost track of where we were. It's a fun party over here with Sydney.
We had to hit the pause button.
Yes.
It's all good though.
Tea was being spilled.
Too much. Y'all don't want to know.
Yes. And there's currently no Patreon, so there's no way you can get this exclusive content.
The uncut episode.
Maybe you'll hear it someday.
I
doubt
don't
it.
know.
But either way, so your work has been published in a local zine, yes, called the Moss Piglet.
Yeah, I have submitted a few pieces to Moss Piglet. I'm trying to think. I think 4, 3 of which were photography, and 1 was a poem.
That-
Was
I love that poem.
it's so short.
What
Hang
a
on, I
fucking-
think
Short
I,
isn't bad.
I
Short
think
can
I
be
might
good.
have it in my notes app. I could read it off. It's so
Dude,
short.
please,
The
I
poem that
love it.
I got published for was very short. It was like 4 lines.
Do you remember what it was?
Sky
It was about
blue.
rain.
Oh. I liked weather from a young age.
I was like in 4th grade, 6th grade, something like that. I've told the story on the podcast
Gotcha.
before.
Okay, so
Go off.
here's the poem that I
Dramatic
submitted
reading. Dun, dun,
to
dun.
to Moss Piglet Crazines. It's called William Carlos Williams Was Right.
Dun, dun, dun.
Some days I cannot help but feel like I am the red wheelbarrow. So much in my life depends on me. It is hard not to feel like I am being rained on. I am still working on the chickens.
Aw, yay!
Thank you. That's
Yes,
it. That's
yes.
it. And if anybody does not know, it's a riff on William Carlos Williams' poem, the red wheelbarrow. Have we heard that poem?
Yes.
No, but thank you for the explanation.
Okay, let me read the.
I thought you misspoke when you said William Carlos Williams, and you said his last name like
Nope,
twice.
nope. That's his name.
Wow.
That shows what I know.
Parents
has
really
been-
named him that.
This has been education.
Wow, parents really did do that.
Ba.
So Carlos is
boo.
his middle name?
I suppose so.
Or maybe double first.
This is a dramatic reading
Dun
of
dun dun.
The Red Wheelbarrow by William Carlos Williams. So much depends upon a red wheelbarrow, blazed with rainwater beside the white chickens.
Yeah,
That's
the
it. That's the poem.
I love it.
I love it too. It's so short, but it paints a
So
picture.
crisp.
Yes, exactly. It's just you think of something so mundane,
Mhm.
wheelbarrow. It's like, hey, man, a whole lot really does depend on that.
Yeah.
And then just the peaceful imagery with the rain coming down, and then
Yeah.
there's a little chicken pen nearby.
Yeah.
I think it's perfect. I think it's honestly
It's as long as it needs to be.
quite yeah, exactly, quite possibly my favorite poem, and it's so short.
I've heard band names longer than that. I'm not kidding.
So that and Wild Geese by Mary Oliver is another one of my
Birds.
favorite poems. Yeah,
Oh, the
birds.
birds. I was going to ask earlier when you were talking about birds, what's your favorite bird?
Ducks.
Ducks?
She
Just
ducks.
in the general,
Just
all ducks?
ducks in general, and then like tiny little songbirds are pretty cool.
She likes chicks too.
Little
chick-
baby chicks, like
Mhm.
little chicks, and like quail chicks. I don't know if baby quails are called chicks too or not. They're so tiny, and like ducklings and goslings, like little baby birds, are super cool. I like them up to maybe about like a mid-sized bird, and then like I don't know, albatross and up terrify me.
What's your least favorite bird?
Take a wild horses.
That's not a
Least favorite. Sorry, all the cool people out there. The shoebill can't. I can't.
That's right. You told me about
Heard of that.
It's like
yeah.
a dinosaur.
That's what people say.
Oh, yeah.
And it makes those weird.
Is it like a pelican or something?
It's actually most closely related to a pelican.
Oh.
But it is in its own genus. It's not a stork. People have a misconception about it that it is a stork because
Okay.
it's like 5 feet tall and has the spindly legs and lives in a swamp, the swamps of Africa. But no, it's not a stork. It's its own genus, its own species, and tall, gray, like fleshy colored. It looks like a
Beak,
Dutch
yeah.
clog, almost the beak, and it's
The sound they make is.
pretty creepy.
Just being in a room with one of those things.
Yeah, and they don't even make that much noise at all. Like they're relatively silent birds, just kind of like creeping along the shoreline and fishing with their massive beaks. But yeah, they kind of make like a low guttural sound, and then they make lots of clacking sounds with their beaks during mating season. And
no.
they're fascinating, but they're so scary. I
You're
can't.
kind of selling me on this.
I can't.
I
Like,
like
you can pull up an image. Don't show me though. I will get uncomfortable. I can't.
Well, we'll go around the table here. Shelby, what's your favorite bird?
Favorite and least favorite. Let's
favorite
go.
and least favorite.
I might need a minute.
I got one.
I wasn't ready.
I got my
I'm
favorite
not
bird.
ready.
Let's go. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Favorite bird, blue-footed booby.
Oh yeah.
Purely for the name.
Yes.
Ha,
Yeah.
ha, ha,
Just
ha.
honestly, like it was like a very funny to me as a like third grader, and
Yeah.
it like really stuck out in my mind
Well, I'm yeah.
of like, can you believe they actually named something that like
Or like tits.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a type of bird.
Titmouse.
Yeah.
Or is that a bird? No.
Titmouse
It's
is
a
bird.
mouse. It's a bird.
No, titmice are birds. Am I
don't know.
wrong?
I have no idea.
No, now I'm
You're the bird
second-guessing myself.
expert here.
I know. Now I'm fucking sorry. Now I'm second guessing myself. I gotta Google
Birds.
it.
Okay,
I thought
what-
a titmouse was also a bird.
It could be. I don't know.
It is. Thank
No, good.
goodness I'm
Ooh.
right. And there's also a tufted titmouse. Get your little fluffy titmouse over here.
Yeah.
Get them titmouses over here.
Do we have to censor titmouse?
No.
Okay.
No.
No.
Or blue-footed booby. Those are
Mhm.
great birds, though.
They're good.
I don't know.
All right, Shelby, you've had time.
Wait, what's your least
Oh,
favorite?
I have to think of a
You're not
least
done
favorite.
yet.
I don't
Oh
know
my
if I-
god! Come on! No, I'm kidding. Hurry up! No.
Yeah, about your bird noises. Probably
Ooh,
won't pick it up, but
It might.
maybe.
Maybe
Should I do
the-
a little chicken cluck just for Alex?
Do it. He
I'm-
hates it.
Sorry to expose you.
Yeah, Alex is
Oh.
afraid of chickens.
Scared.
we know his least favorite.
Yeah. She does it so
that was
good.
good. That was good. How did we wait this
Yeah.
long to do that?
Thank you, thank you. That's my only talent. It's been a
Thank you.
pleasure. See ya. Episodes. No, I'm kidding. I need to know. I need to know
Least
favorite. What do you have a
Okay.
favorite or least favorite, Shelby? Well, while
My-
Jake's thinking.
My favorite would probably be a tie between a puffin. I love them. They're just like the little guys, and their beaks take up like half of their face.
Yeah,
and
they're
it's
cute.
very cute. So it's probably a puffin or a hummingbird because I like the idea. of
Hummingbirds
them.
are nice.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
so cute.
And they have just such cool colors, and I don't know, they're really tiny and cute.
Speaking of hummingbirds,
Mhm.
there's this thing I saw on the website formerly known as Twitter. This is back in like
X
2019 or
X.
2020, I should say. And it was a photo, and it's so fascinating. I think about it often. Of
How often do you think about the Roman Empire? Never, but I think about hummingbirds.
is that a TikTok thing?
Yeah, I know.
I'm so old. I'm sorry, I can't.
It's okay. It's gonna be so old when this comes
Yeah,
out.
it was a
Yay.
while ago,
Yeah.
but now.
Oh God! But it was a photo of this glass case in I think a natural history museum in maybe England or something. And from a distance, it looks like it's like knotted, gnarled tree branches and stuff. It's like you got the base and it like goes out. Up close, hundreds of hummingbirds,
Mm.
Really?
like stuffed and mounted.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
But I guess like back in the Victorian age, it was like really popular to, I guess collect things. And one of the things people collected was like, game, obviously. Like that's a thing we can talk
Oh,
about. This
your
episode's
fear.
probably going to be like 3 hours long. But like one of the things that, someone wanted to collect was different species of hummingbirds, and they did, and they put it all in this glass case, and it's fascinating, but also horrifying to think about because it's like,
yeah.
oh, cool. Like, why is that like brambled bush and that? It's a bunch of tiny little birds just stuck up on in there.
Mhm.
Gross.
Yeah.
But
But her other fear other than large birds is taxidermy.
yeah, I don't like it.
And I love it.
least favorite art form is taxidermy. No shade. Now listen, listener.
Listening.
Listen, Linda. That's old. No shade to taxidermists because what you do is truly an art.
Mhm.
People will do it for fun. People will do it to commemorate, people's past pets. Like some people will get their like doggy or kitty
Mhm.
done. Some people do it for, museums and stuff. It's a fabulous art, and lots of people do a really great job. I just cannot. There's something in me, and it's been ever since I was a kid. It might have something to do with the uncanny valley. I really don't know, but just I can't make it through like the Milwaukee Public Museum without just like feeling like I need to stare at the ground. I can't look a mounted caribou in the eye. I can't get a fox away from me. Like there's this seal that I'm picturing in my mind right now that just dead glass beady eyes just stare at you. I can't. Like it's so like Kenosha Public Museum. Shout out. Horrifying to me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great museum, but like the taxidermy, I just simply cannot. And like when they first opened that cabinet of curiosities, I'm like, I know what's in there and you can't make me go in. And Kurt, my sweet, sweet boyfriend, like once
Let's take a poke around.
in like 2021 we went in and he's just like, oh, like we haven't seen this yet. I'm like, I can guarantee you it's nothing but dead animals in there. He's just like, no, like I'm sure there's other stuff. And we both went in together and I'm like, eyes plastered to the ground. I know what I'm going to see. And he rounds like this first corner. He's like, I'm going to walk you out and I'll look at this by myself. It is nothing but dead animals. I'm like, I told you. That's usually when people say quote unquote cabinet of curiosities, that's usually what they mean. It's like dead specimens and like taxidermy and stuff. I can't. It's like, again, with the uncanny valley thing, it's like I'm looking at a stuffed or mounted animal and I'm just like, you are supposed to be real, but you are not, but you are looking as if you could be, and that perturbs the shit out of me. I would rather come face hot dumb take I'm about to say, and people are going to be like, why did you interview her? I'd rather come face to face with a real bear. like come here, BB, like let's be friends. Like it would probably maul me, but no, I can't. Least favorite art form, that could be a new question. You ask people.
I actually love that.
Yes.
Remember that.
Yes.
How do you do? How about like? You ever seen that one badly taxidermied lion or something like that?
I love bad taxidermy.
Where it was like so bad. Or you probably avoided it because but it was like a meme kind of like a couple years ago maybe.
It was in Italy.
Yeah.
And I went there.
And it was so bad.
Did you see it in person?
Yes.
Like, what?
Yeah. But the hippo is even more messed up.
I don't even want to know. I don't know anything about
But like you mentioned,
this.
like the uncanny valley, like maybe it being like so bad you can't even tell what it is.
There's something.
Maybe I have caught a couple glimpses like scrolling through Facebook because like friends of friends will share from the bad taxidermy Facebook page like photos of like like fucked up raccoons wearing like little American Girl doll dresses and like weird shit like that, and I'm like like at first it's just like man, and then I'm like okay, like it's not as bad, but still I'm just like
kind of funny.
I'm like it's kind of silly, but also like I still don't want to see it. We watched like I can't do it like if it's in movies. What was that movie? The one where it's like they're doing like hide and seek, but like the one they're trying to kill the one girl. Ready or Not.
Yeah, Ready or Not.
Ready or Not. It's a horror movie. It actually ended up being pretty good, but like there's like a bunch of scenes in like the family's great room in their mansion, heads all over the wall. No, thank you. I also watched The Haunted Mansion, the Eddie Murphy one, for the first time in like years. Didn't realize how much taxidermy was in that haunted house. I'm like, what the hell is that? Good gravy. I sound silly, but there's other people out there who are just like me,
you're not alone.
who experience the same thing. I can go in Texas Roadhouse now and be relatively fine, so yay me. But like when I was younger, I'm just like, I can't even go into Texas Roadhouse. There's like a rattlesnake on the wall. There's like a bison.
Armadillo chugging a bottle of tequila.
Yeah, bro. Not the armadillo. But like, it's embarrassing. But like looking in there, like for like a split second, I was like, okay, cool. It's like needle felted horses, but I was like, oh, it better not be. I'm about to walk on out of here.
Oh, gosh.
So a little bit of a tangent, but giant birds. Sorry, birds. You're fascinating. I would love to be an ornithologist, but I couldn't handle it.
No.
And taxidermy are like two big things that are just scary. Again, no shade to people who
do it for a living or
do
whatever.
it for a living, who enjoy it. Like that's all great. Do not flood the comments of whenever this episode is posted with photos of taxidermy. I will cry. You want to make me cry? Don't do it.
Although we would love the engagement.
God damn.
It's great for the algorithm.
God damn it.
Bruh. I mean, maybe you can post them in the comments. Don't DM me. I'll fight you.
Don't say that.
So rude.
Please
no
refrain.
shoebill storks either.
Yes.
Or it's not a stork. Darn it. I just invalidated my whole thing. No shoebills. No dead animals posed in a way that makes them look
I think
alive.
I figured out my least favorite. I can't quite remember the name because it's close to other names of other animals. It's like a cockapoo or cockatoo.
Cockatoo or cockatiel? Cockatoo is the large white one with like the black beak and the fanned feathers.
Does it
cockatiel is little.
I thought there was one that like kind of walks around.
A lot of birds walk.
It's like half dog, half bird.
Platypus?
Nah.
What the hell?
I thought you guys
Cocker
would know.
spaniel girl? Cockatiel?
Maybe I'm thinking of cockatiel. I don't know.
It walks around. It doesn't fly?
I'm picturing it kind of walking around in a creepy manner, and that's why I don't.
You're like, there's a creepy bird walking.
I'm scared.
Oh,
What?
cockapoo is a dog.
Cockapoo.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Oh,
Oh.
cockatiel
Cockatiel is probably what I'm thinking. No,
or a
that doesn't
cockatoo.
look that
There's
bad.
a cockapoo, which is a dog. There's a cockatoo, which is a larger white bird that has
Yeah.
the fan feather, and then
With
a
yellow.
cockatiel, I think, is smaller and yellow, kind of like a parakeet almost, but not quite.
Mhm.
It has like a little like crest, but I mean they can walk, but I think they choose to
A
fly.
lot of birds.
Is it
walk.
flightless or not? I need to know.
I think I'm thinking of the cockatoo. I think I'm
Oh,
thinking of that.
Too.
They're really big in Australia. They're like Australia's pigeon.
They're a
That's-
popular pet.
Yes.
Yeah, that one.
Oh, okay.
Don't like that.
Is it because they scream?
Sure.
Oh, or are they just
Sure.
unpleasant to look at
I don't know.
in your eyes?
Just not a
I think.
fan of
I don't
them.
think. I don't think they're so
Deep
bad.
down,
I could take them or leave them.
deep down, it says something like,
When you
"Don't
said-
really favor this."
When you said I could take him, I thought you'd be like in a fight. Like,
yeah, you're gonna fight a
could take him.
cockatoo.
I could probably take
I'd
them.
punch a cockatoo. How about you, Shelby? Wait, did you said
She
your
didn't do
favorite?
either.
No, I
No,
didn't
you
do
s-
mine yet.
No, she said your hummingbird or
Oh yeah.
Puffin,
puffin.
Puffin,
What's your
that's right.
least favorite?
my least favorite.
Cockatiel.
Cockapoos.
Yes,
The dog.
yes. Oh, I was a
golden
dog.
doodles.
When I was a dog bather, we don't need to talk about that.
Oh,
At
I
that time in
forgot
my
about
life,
that.
I hated washing cockapoos or poodles or
Anything with curly fur.
yes.
I feel like that would be difficult.
their owners don't brush them out and they bring them matted and they're like, "Well, I brushed them." It's like, no, you didn't. This thing's a little fuzzball and it's matted, and I
Gross.
gotta deal with that. But either way,
Sorry.
so birds that I don't like, I probably don't like.
Probably.
Probably. I don't know. I've never encountered this bird, so I don't know. It's a bird in Australia as well. It's
Is it a-
Platypus.
no. I was surprised when I found out they were poisonous too, as a
Eek.
kid. Yeah,
Eek.
but they are called a not. I can't remember what they're called, but it's like a
Describe it.
not a budgie. It's like a
Oh, I've heard of a budgie. That's a bird.
You don't like budgies?
No, it's like they make a lot of loud noise. I can't think of what it's
Are we
called.
sure we're not also hating the
Yeah.
cockatoo right about now?
No.
Was I thinking of budgie? No.
Budgies are so tiny. What, a green
Those are
cheek
cute.
conure? Is that what you're talking about? I don't know if they're Australian though. I'm just thinking of all the tiny birds you can get at like Petco potentially.
Now you got me looking up birds, girl.
good.
We're all Googling birds. Right?
Yeah.
That's fine. It's the Bird Space podcast.
This is going to get cut.
Ellie-
Oh, I don't want it to. Keep it in.
Oh, just this part.
Oh, okay.
Australian birds.
Not a moa. They're dead and they're huge. Budgies are tiny.
Not budgie.
What the heck?
Oh, I mixed them up with the idea of a bin chicken. Like they're
Oh, the ibis? How could you?
no, the southern
Cassowary?
Yeah.
Oh, I know what a cassowary
Yeah.
is. No, bin.
Yep.
Okay.
I have no idea what you're talking
Cassowaries-
Start over. Yes.
Cassowaries are giant.
Mhm.
They look like dinosaurs. If we want to get into that discussion again, they will kill you. They can fucking maul you with
I
their
mixed them up.
claws. No, bin chickens are ibises. How could
Ibises,
you?
that's what it is.
I love an ibis.
Mhm.
I
I
do.
do. I do like that style of bird. Of just you got long legs and you're just like a little blob on legs.
Yeah, they have really long beaks.
Mhm.
Here's the thing though, like I like an ibis, I don't like a spoonbill. Let's get real.
Yeah.
And there was one in Wisconsin like not long ago and I'm like, don't come here.
What do we think about the latest hot button issue of there being flamingos found in
Love
Wisconsin?
it. Love that for them. That's a big bird that I can get behind.
I'm jealous of Port Washington
Oh,
for getting
wow.
flamingos.
I'm loving it, but
Import
also
'em.
I don't want their environment to be totally like blown away because they came up
Yeah.
here because of the hurricane, right?
Probably something like that.
Rip. But hey, with the way the Earth is warming, I mean, we'll probably be the most tropical paradise, livable paradise in like
Soon to
5 years.
be.
Hot dog.
Yay.
The Wisconsin
Flamingos.
Riviera.
Yeah.
Wee. Yeah, I love
Summer
it.
in Wisconsin.
Love that. Love that for them. But hopefully their home doesn't get by natural disasters. Rip.
When I was a kid, my mom had a house sit for some person that had a little farm, and my mom brought me out there a couple of times, and they had turkeys out there. They had turkeys. Oh my gosh, do I hate having to like feed them, and they're just perched up in the tree so menacingly when they sleep, and they're just looking down at you. I'm like, you're a big bird. You need to be on the ground, mister. Like, get down.
Yeah, lots of people don't realize that turkeys can like fly a little. They can glide. It's crazy.
I learned that when the whole Carl phenomenon was happening here.
That's right.
The
R.I.P.
Are you familiar with this?
Yeah.
Wasn't he like a local turkey and someone ran him over?
Yes,
Wasn't it?
That's how it ended.
Allegedly, purposefully.
Yes, and this was all over by
Rude.
Forest Park, and I used to drive through there all the time when this was happening, and I saw him a couple times. But yeah, so there was like a whole thing of like, well, he sleeps in the tree. Well, turkeys can't fly. Yes, they kind of can.
Yes.
They can.
And that whole thing. That's how I learned about that.
They can flap and get up there, and then they can like glide back down. They don't go long distance, but they can.
They
They
can get
can
in the
fly
tree.
a bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is an unsettling thought to think though. Like a turkey, and like you think about like one of those
And I was a
big tom
kid.
turkeys. Like,
Yeah.
why are you up in a branch?
Yeah.
Get your ass on the ground.
I just turned the corner and see him. Like, as a kid, I remember it vividly being like, what? Like,
On the ground now.
like your turkey. I was like, Mom, you need to tell these people, like, their turkeys are broken. Like, what's
How'd
going
they
on?
get? Someone put their turkey in the tree. How'd it get up?
And
there?
they'd chase after me, and I'd get very upset.
That's too much.
But they had little, like, polka dotted, they had, I think it was a type of quail or something. They had black and white polka dotted ones, and I think they have like a red head. I can't remember what they're called, but either way, they had a bunch of those, and I loved corralling those because those are like little bumbling idiots, and you're like, come on, guys, it's fun.
Last bird shout out to killdeers. They are
Ooh.
so small and so cute. They kind of look like a quail, but not really. They're so tiny. They're like white, and they have like a little black head and a little ring and brown, and they have these tiny little stick legs, and they're just so stupid cute, and they just
Pit.
yeah. Do we have any?
No, we don't have any other stuff to
How do we
talk
wrap
about.
this up?
All right.
Love you.
Anyways,
Where could people find you?
You can't. Don't
Yes.
find me. I don't have any socials for
to live in mystery.
art, doodles, or poetry. I have my own personal pages, but
If you want more of Sydney, comment on the post saying we want more Sydney, and then maybe we'll have her back on.
I might come back. Maybe.
And that's enough.
Unless you guys say no.
And you can you can frequently find her at Second Saturdays here.
Yeah, I come
Pretty
to Second
frequent.
Saturday. I creep around the gallery, you know, make sure things give an ocular pat down, make sure everything's safe.
Catch her, get a little Bigfoot glimpse of.
Oh,
Sydney.
Yeah, I am kind of tall. I'm
Yeah.
wearing very tall, pointy boots today, so I'm even taller.
And
I like to fake being 5'10".
You're the sheriff of Lemon Street.
Absolutely.
Yeehaw.
Need I'll catch me wearing my leather duster and
Big iron on her hip.
yeah. But yeah, thank you guys for having me on today. Sorry it was kind of an off the rails episode.
Don't
but
apologize.
There's people out there that like that.
Yes.
So
Ayo.
But we
that's who we're
love you.
catering to today.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Well, you can find this podcast wherever you get your podcast. You know the spiel. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, all those wonderful platforms, and our very own YouTube channel. So like, comment, review, subscribe, whatever platform you're on. That'll really help us out. And if you want to help the pod, we would greatly appreciate that. And you can find us on social media, Facebook at the ArtSpace Podcast, and we have our wonderful Facebook group, the Marvelous Makers and the Art Appreciators. I can't talk. I'm tired, and yes, but we're getting there. So yeah, join that Facebook group, stay in the loop, and all cool things going on in the local art community. And then we have Instagram at the ArtSpace Pod. Go ahead, check it out. Stay up to date. But yeah.
We want to thank our sponsor, Joseph from Draw
Yes.
Joseph.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to thank Would You Kindly for doing our theme song.
Yes.
And we want to thank Sydney for being with us today.
Yeah.
And we want to thank you,
Yes.
the listener, for listening.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what you're best at.
Yes. You did a good job. Gold star for
Congrats.
you. Yay. But I think that about wraps it up for this episode, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Depression, addiction, the thrill that you seek. Our restlessness cages the fire we need. We're here to inspire.